a great deal, but of course, where we do see the rain, it will be welcome after such a dry summer. Ben.
All right, Chris, thank you very much. And that is all from the BBC News at 1. So it's goodbye from me and on BBC One Now. We'll join the BBC's news teams where you are. Have a very good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. King Charles has expressed his heartfelt sympathy with the people of Creeslough following the explosion which killed 10 people on Friday. He said he and the Queen Consort remembered with the greatest fondness meeting people from across Donegal in 2016 and the strong sense of community that exists there. The head of the Catholic Church in Ireland, Archbishop Eamon Martin, visited Creeslough this morning, from where we're joined now by our reporter Kevin Sharkey. Kevin Sharkey in Creeslough, thank you. Now, a US government official who warned the Prime Minister not to act unilaterally over the Northern Ireland Protocol will meet the Secretary of State and local political parties later. Derek Chalet, councillor with the US Department of State, is on a visit to Northern Ireland. I'm joined by our political correspondent, Gareth Gordon. So, Gareth, who exactly is Derek Chalet meeting today? Thank you, Gareth. A lot to take in there. Thank you. Well, let's get the weather forecast now with all those details. Here's Barra.
Thanks very much, Lindsay. It was a cool start to the day, but we've had some lovely clear sky, and out there today, sunny spells almost anywhere. Largely dry, some sunshine, temperatures in and around 15, maybe 16 degrees.
Now, a signed summary of the news with Richard Beattie. Condolences and tributes from around the world are being paid to the people of Creeslough following the explosion which killed 10 people on Friday. King Charles has expressed his heartfelt sympathy. He said he and the Queen Consort remembered with the greatest fondness meeting people from across Donegal in 2016 and the strong sense of community that exists there. Work has begun to board up the site of Friday's explosion at the service station. Technical examinations to find out what caused the explosion are expected to continue throughout the day. A US government official who warned the Prime Minister not to act unilaterally over the Northern Ireland Protocol will meet the Secretary of State and local political parties later. Derek Chalet, councillor with the US Department of State, is on a visit to Northern Ireland. That's it for now. BBC Newsline will be back at 6:30 here on BBC One. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
But fingers crossed, if you're desperate for rain, we could get some in the south on Thursday. Hugh.
We'll keep watching, Louise. Thank you very much. And that's it from BBC News at 6. The news continues here on BBC One. It's time to join our colleagues across the nations and regions, and they're standing by with the news where you are. But from all of us, I'll hopefully see you at 10. But from the rest of the team, goodbye.
Good evening, this is BBC Newsline. The headlines this Monday evening.
In Creeslough in County Donegal, the filling station where Friday's explosion happened is disappearing behind hoardings. But what happened is vivid still in the minds of those who are here.
Local folk with no personal protective equipment racing forward to save their friends, to save their family, all the time blinded to the danger to themselves, blinded by adrenaline, blinded by love, blinded by compassion.
Hope is hard to find in the local community as it prepares for the first of the funerals.
People can't really think at the moment. You know, everybody is coming together and everybody's doing what they can, but there's no words.
A senior US official arrives at Stormont for talks about the Brexit protocol. Mothers protest over delays in the establishment of a specialist postnatal mental health unit.
So many mothers and babies could have been treated so much more better and deserve to be treated better.
As the draw is made for football's European Championships in 2024, the Northern Ireland manager says his team can spring a surprise.
And it's been a fairly sunny start to the week for many, but will it stay that way for the rest of the week? Find out later.
In an instant, last Friday afternoon, the small village of Creasla in County Donegal was changed forever. 10 people lost their lives in an explosion at an apartment and filling station complex. Today, relatives, friends, neighbours have been paying tribute to those who died and to those who tried to save them. King Charles and the Queen Consort sent a message of sympathy. Archbishop Eamon Martin visited the village this morning ahead of the first of the funerals tomorrow. Declan Harvey is in Creasla for BBC Newsline. And Declan, this is a community in deep mourning.
About the wider community and just where they go from here.
Declan, thank you, and we will be back in Creasla later, as Declan says. But first, let's turn to some of the day's other news now. And a US government official who warned the Prime Minister not to act unilaterally over the protocol has met local political parties here. Well, our political correspondent Gareth Gordon is at Stormont for us. So Gareth, Derek Chollet, who is he and why was he here today?
Well, he's certainly not.
OK, for now, Gareth at Stormont, thank you. Now, a woman who suffered serious postnatal depression and hallucinations after the birth of her baby has told us how she didn't even recognise her own son. Alex Crickmay Snodden was one of a group of women at Stormont today to hand a letter in to the Health Minister demanding a specialist mother and baby perinatal mental health unit here. Northern Ireland is the only part of the UK without a dedicated inpatient service, which would allow women to be admitted along with their babies. Eve Rosato has been speaking to Alex. Alex Crickmay Snodden ending that report. Now tonight's sport, and Stephen is here. Hi Stephen.
Hello Catherine, thank you very much. Well, football's European Championship final seem a long way away, but the first qualifiers are in the new year, and the draw for Euro 2024 took place in Germany yesterday. Northern Ireland have been put in a group with Denmark, Finland, Slovenia, Kazakhstan and San Marino. And certainly that looks better on paper than the Republic of Ireland, who are in with heavyweights France and the Netherlands. And that is the sport tonight. I'll see you tomorrow, Catherine.
Stephen, thank you. Now we can go back to Declan in Creasla.
Catherine, thank you. And I'm joined by our colleague Kevin Sharkey, who's been here all weekend. And we were saying, Kevin, that amidst all the awfulness that has played out here over the last few days, one moment stands out particularly for you. Kevin, thank you very much. And from all of us here in Creasla, Catherine, we'll pass back to you.
Declan and Kevin, thank you. Now let's get the weather. And Barra has the details. Hi, Barra.
Thanks very much, Catherine. It's been quite a cool day, but quite a bit of sunshine around, but a few isolated showers did come in on that northwesterly wind. 1 or 2 showers possible this evening and overnight, especially towards the north and west, but in and around the low teens for many.
Barra, thank you. And thank you for watching BBC Newsline this evening. We'll be back at 10:30. Bye-bye.
It might not even arrive down to the south. Keep watching, Hugh.
We'll keep watching. Thanks very much, Louise. That's BBC News at 10 on Monday the 10th of October. Of course, the usual reminder, more analysis of the day's main stories coming up right now on Newsnight, and it's my colleague Kirsty presenting Newsnight tonight, just getting underway on BBC Two. Here on BBC One, stay with us because if you want the news where you are, our colleagues in the nations and regions standing by to deliver the headlines in your own areas. But from all of us on the 10, thanks for watching and good night.
Good evening. Relatives, friends and neighbours have been paying tribute to those who died in an explosion at an apartment and filling station complex in Creasla on Friday. King Charles and the Queen Consort have sent a message of sympathy. Archbishop Eamon Martin visited the village this morning ahead of the first of the funerals tomorrow. Our Northwest reporter Kieran Turish has spent the day in the area. Other news now, and a senior US government official who warned the Prime Minister not to act unilaterally over the Northern Ireland Protocol held political talks at Stormont today. Derek Chollet, who's a counsellor with the US Department of State, met the Secretary of State, Chris Heaton-Harris, before talking to the five main parties. Speaking afterwards, the Sinn Féin Vice President, Michelle O'Neill, said the US advisor's trip to Northern Ireland is significant.
I had no doubt that the United States have political influence to bear. They've been very strong in terms of making it very clear that any breach of the Good Friday Agreement will mean that there'll be no trade deal with the United States, and I'm sure that's something that Liz Truss and her team are very alert to. So I think it's significant that Derek Chollet is here. I look forward to briefing him and having a conversation with him. But ultimately, all roads need to lead back to an executive table where everybody needs to be seated around that table, trying to deliver for people at this time.
Now just time for a look at the weather forecast. Here's Barra.
Hello there, good evening. It's going to be another cold night, although we do have more cloud around. Temperatures for many will dip into the single figures, largely dry, maybe just one or two showers towards the north and the west, and some sunshine to look forward to as well.
Well, that's it. Our next television news is at 6:25 in the morning. That's during breakfast. Until then, thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.
Paula McIntyre is on our spectacular north coast.